are from National University. So today, we're going to discuss about leases, specifically other accounting issues.
So we expect that you already know about the basic principles of leases. So now we will give a short review about it.
What is lease?
Under IFRS 16, a lease is defined as a contract or part of a contract that conveys the right to use the underlying asset for a period of time in exchange for consideration. May dalawang taong involved sa lease accounting. Ito ang lessor at lessee. Lessor is defined as the actual owner of the asset. He or she also permits the use of the asset. Lastly, he or she receives money from the lessee for the asset used. Meanwhile, lessee is the one that has the right to use the asset. He or she also pays money for the asset used. For example, Anna leases building from Bea. So, who do you think is the lessee and the lessor here? So, Bea is the lessor because she is the owner of the building, while Anna is the lessee because she has the right to use the asset.
According to IFRS 16, all leases shall be accounted as finance lease. In finance lease, there are two components, the right of use asset and the lease liability. So the right of use asset is initially measured at cost. This cost includes present value of lease payments, less incentives and bonuses, plus initial direct costs, plus estimated cost of dismantling or removing, plus present value of cost of restoration. So, on the subsequent measurement of the right of use asset, we use cost model. But how do we compute for the depreciation? Normally, there are two given. Number one is the useful life of the asset, and another one is the life of the lease. We use the useful life of asset if the ownership will transfer to the lessee or there is a purchase option. If none, whichever is shorter between the life of the asset and the life of the lease. Lease liability. We measure lease liability based on the present value of lease payments. Lease payments have components. It includes fixed lease payments, variable lease payments, exercise price of a purchase option if the lease is reasonably certain to exercise the option, amount expected to be payable by the lessee under a residual value guarantee. Lastly is the termination penalties if the lease term reflects the exercise of the termination option.
In this video, we will outline the lease modification guidance in IFRS 16. IFRS 16 defines a lease modification as a change in the scope of a lease or the consideration for a lease that was not part of the original terms and condition of the lease. A lease modification results from the renegotiation between the lessee and the lessor. There are 6 scenarios that involves different lease modification, including extension option, change in rental, lease modification, extension of lease term, increase in scope of lease, decrease in scope of lease, and variable payments. The first scenario is extension option, in which the lessee has an option to shorten or extend the contractual lease term and to increase or decrease the lease payments. For example, ABC Company entered into a lease of building on January 1, 2020 with the following information: annual rental payable at end of each year amounting to 500,000, lease term of 5 years, useful life of building of 20 years, implicit interest rate of 10%, PV of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 5 periods, 3.791. The lease contained an option for the lessee to extend for a further 5 years. After 3 years, on January 1, 2023, the lessee decided to extend the lease for further 5 years. These are the following information. So, first step is kukumputin natin yung present value noong January 1, 2020. So, para makompute natin to, ita-times natin yung annual rental payable at the end of each year times PB of ordinary annuity of 1. So sa case na to, 500,000 times 3.791 is equal to 1,895,500. So yun na yung PV natin. So pangalawa is magpe-prepare tayo ng table of amortization. So bakit nga ba tayo nagpe-prepare ng table of amortization? Kasi para pag nag-journal entries tayo, hindi na tayo mahihirapang mag-compute kasi puro lagay-lagay na lang ng amount. So paano nga ba computein yung table of amortization? So may 5 column ang table of amortization. Date, payment, interest, principal, and present value. So sa date, dito nakalagay yung initial date of the lease which is January 1, 2020. At saka yung subsequent date kung kailan nagbabayad yung lessee. So sinabi sa problem na at the end of each year. So at the end of each year which is December 31. Tapos yung payment naman, dito nakalagay yung annual payment ng lessee. So yun. So para ma-compute yung interest, ita-times natin yung present value noong January 1, 2020 doon sa implicit interest rate na 10%. So sa case na to, 1,895,500 times 10% is equal to 189,550. So sa principal naman, ililess natin yung payment at saka yung interest na nakuha natin. So 500,000 minus 189,550 is equal to 310,450. So para makuha natin yung present value noong December 31, 2020, ililess natin yung present value dun sa principal. So sa case na to, 1,895,500 minus 310,450 which is equal to 1,585,050. So para makuha naman natin yung interest noong December 31, 2021, yung PV noong December 31, 2020, ita-times natin sa implicit rate na 10%. So dito sa case na to, 1,585,050 times 10% is equal to 158,505. So para makuha din natin ulit yung principal noong December 31, 2021, ililess natin yung payment sa interest, which is 500,000 minus 158,505, which is equal to 341,495. Para makuha natin yung present value noong December 31, 2021, ililess natin yung PV doon sa principal na nakuha natin. So 1,585,050 minus 341,495, which is equal to 1,243,555. So same process lang ang gagawin natin hanggang 2022. So mapapansin natin sa table of amortization is hanggang December 31, 2022 lang yung ginawa. Kasi nga, ang sabi, after 3 years, on January 1, 2023, the lessee decided to extend the lease for a further 5 years, which means nagkaroon ng remeasurement. So now, we will prepare journal entries for 2020. So January 1, mag-e-entry tayo dun sa PV na nakuha natin sa first step. So, debit right of use asset, which is amounted to 1,895,500, credit lease liability, 1,895,500. So, for December 31, i-record natin yung mga data na nakuha natin sa table of amortization ng December 31, 2020. So, debit interest expense, nakuha natin yun sa column na interest, which is 189,550. Debit na lease liability, which is nasa column ng principal, which is equal to 310,450. And credit na cash na nakalagay sa column ng payment, which is the sum of interest expense and lease liability. So, nung December 31, kailangan din natin mag-record ng depreciation. So, dito, dahil parehas yung amount ng right of use asset and lease liability, yun yung gagamitin natin. Pero kung magkaiba yung amount ng right of use of asset and lease liability, ang kailangan natin gamitin is yung right of use of asset. Tapos, i-divide natin siya sa 5 years kasi wala namang purchase option at transfer of ownership. So, kailangan nating i-identify kung ano yung shorter sa lease term and useful life of building. So, sa case na to, mas maliit yung lease term. So, i-divide natin siya sa 5 years. So, 1,895,500 divided by 5 is equal to 379,100. So, for the succeeding years, parehas lang yung process ng pag-e-entry. So now, we will proceed to remeasurement of lease liability. So sinabi nga kanina sa problem na nagkaroon ng remeasurement noong January 1, 2023. So ngayon, kailangan natin computein yung present value noong January 1, 2023. So ang pag-compute nito is parehas lang sa process kanina. Ang pinagkaiba lang is yung PV of ordinary annuity of 1. Kasi dapat nakabase na siya sa new implicit interest rate natin, which is 8%. So, for 2 periods siya. So, bakit 2 periods? Kasi nga, di ba sinabi, sa original contract natin is 5 years. And nag-start yung contract natin noong January 1, 2020. So, supposedly, 2025 siya matatapos. Kaso, noong January 1, 2023, nagkaroon ng remeasurement. So, may 3 years nang nagamit. So, yung 2 periods na ginamit natin para sa PV of ordinary annuity is yun yung natira. So, ang bagong amount ng ordinary annuity of 1 at 8% for 2 periods ay 1.783. So, ita-times natin yon sa annual rental noong unang contract na 500,000, which is equal to 891,500.
So, hindi pa yun yung pinaka total present value as of January 1, 2023. Kailangan natin kunin yung panibagong present value na kung saan involved sa remeasurement ng lease liability. So, from the following given, so meron na tayong bagong annual rental payable which is 600,000. At bagong, tulad nga na sabi kanina, bagong implicit interest rate na 8%. So, dito sa pagkuha ng present value na additional 5 years, so, annual rental for 5 years starting January 1, 2025 is 600,000. Multiply by present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 8% for 5 periods. So, 5 periods since 5 years yung dagdag na extension for the lease. So, 600,000 times 3.993 is equal to 2,395,800. So, as of January 1, 2025, meron tayong present value na 2,395,800. So, nakuha na natin yung present value as of January 1, 2025. Pero, di ba nga, ang hinahanap natin is yung present value ng January 1, 2023. So, meron pa remaining na 2 periods from the last lease term ng 5 years. So, kailangan natin siya i-multiply sa present value of 1 at 8% for 2 periods para malaman natin yung pinaka present value as of January 1, 2023. So, yung nakuha natin na present value ng January 1, 2025, which is 2,395,800, ita-times natin siya sa PV of 1 at 8% for 2 periods, which is 0.857, equals to 2,053,200.
So, para makuha natin yung total present value as of January 1, 2023, kailangan natin i-add yung present value of remaining rentals of all this term, which is equal to 891,500 doon sa present value of rentals of extended lease term, which is equal to 2,053,200. Tapos, para makuha natin yung increase in lease liability on January 1, 2023, kailangan nating i-less yung present value nung December 31, 2022. So, yung data na yon makikita natin sa table of amortization. So, bakit December 31, 2022? Kasi yun yung present value bago magkaroon ng remeasurement. So, yung total nun, 867,910. So, pag nilas mo yon, ang magiging total is 2,076,790. So, ngayon, kukunin natin yung bagong carrying amount as of January 1, 2023. So, take note na magkaiba yung present value at yung carrying amount. Kasi, yung carrying amount, yun yung ginagamit sa depreciation, while yung present value, yun yung ginagamit sa table of amortization. So, para makuha natin yung new carrying amount, kailangan nating i-less yung right of use asset nung January 1, 2020. So, yung right of use asset, yun yung na-compute natin gamit yung data before remeasurement, which is 1,895,500. Tapos, ilaless natin yung accumulated depreciation nung December 31, 2022. So, dito sa problem na to, ginamit natin yung straight line, which means na pare-parehas lang yung depreciation. So, di ba nakakuha tayo ng depreciation na 379,100. So, ito times natin siya sa 3 kasi 2022 nga. So, ang equal nun is 1,137,300. So, ang magiging carrying amount ng December 31, 2022 is 758,200. Tapos, i-add natin yung increase in liability on January 1, 2023 na 2,076,790. Makukuha na natin yung new carrying amount noong January 1, 2023 na 2,834,990. So, ngayon, gagawa na tayo ng new table of amortization. So, mapapansin sa table of amortization is nag-start tayo ng January 1, 2023. Kasi nga, doon nagkaroon ng remeasurement. So, kukunin natin yung present value nun na nakuha natin sa pamamagitan ng pag-a-add ng present value of remaining rentals of old lease term at present value of rentals of extended lease term, which is total of 2,944,700. So, yung remeasurement is mangyayari talaga dapat siya noong December 31, 2025. So, makikita sa table na yung payment is nagbago kasi nga dahil sa remeasurement. So, ang pag-compute lang ng interest, principal at present value ay kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina. Since nagkaroon ng remeasurement, mababago na rin yung pag-compute natin ng annual depreciation. So, sabi ko nga kanina, yung carrying amount is gagamitin natin para sa depreciation, which is 2,834,990. So, i-divide natin siya sa 7. So, bakit 7? Kasi nga, di ba, doon sa old contract, sinabi na 5 years. Tapos, nag-extend ulit ng 5 years. So, equals na siya sa 10 years. Kaso, may 3 years na nagamit. So, ililes mo yon. So, magiging 7. Kaya, dinivide yung carrying amount sa 7, which is total of 404,999.
So, in this second scenario is the lease modification, extension of lease term. ABC Company on January 1, 2020 entered into a lease for office space with the following information. Annual rental payable at the end of each year beginning December 31, 2020, 200,000. Lease term, 5 years. Implicit rate in the lease, 9%, and present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 for 5 periods at 9%, which is 3.89. On January 1, 2022, the entity and the lessor agreed to amend the original lease by extending the lease term by 3 more years with the following information. So, ano nga ba ang similarities and differences ng second scenario na to sa unang scenario kanina? So, ang similarities nila is parehas sila nag-extend ng lease term. So, as we can see, in this situation, nag-extend siya for another 3 more years. Tulad ng unang situation kanina. Pero, ang pinaka-main difference nila is kung yung kanina is nagbago din yung annual rental payable nung nag-add ng lease term, dito naman is kahit nag-add na siya na additional 3 more years, ay hindi pa rin nagbago yung annual rental payable niya at the end of each year na 200,000. So the first step is we are going to find and compute for the present value of the lease liability on January 1, 2020. So in this situation, meron tayong annual rental payable at the end of each year na 200,000 times the present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 for 5 periods at 9% implicit rate in the lease. So, 200,000 times 3.89 is equals to 778,000. So, this is the present value na gagamitin natin for the amortization schedule for 2020 and 2021. So, sa amortization schedule na to is makakompute natin yung interest and principal and the present value of lease liability each year. So, from January 1, 2020 up to December 31, 2021 lang yung amortization schedule natin. Bakit? Kasi nga 'di ba, as of January 1, 2022, dito na nag-extend na additional 3 more years yung lessee for the lease. So now we are going to compute for the present value of lease payments on January 1, 2022 as a result of the extension. So hindi naman nabago ang annual rental payable at the end of each year. 200,000 pa rin. Ang nabago lang is yung implicit rate in the lease, which is naging 11%. Kaya, magbabago na rin yung present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 na ita-times natin sa 200,000. So, this is 4.231. So, 200,000 times 4.231 is equals to 846,200. Pero, kailangan pa rin natin mahanap yung increase in lease liability, which is mahanap natin at makakompute natin by deducting the carrying amount on January 1, 2022 before the extension. So as we can see, kapag binalikan natin yung amortization schedule, as of December 31, 2021, before the extension, meron tayong present value of lease liability na 506,342. So, i-deduct natin siya sa 846,200 na bagong present value as of January 1, 2022 at makukuha natin yung increase in lease liability na 339,858. So since nagkaroon tayo ng extension of 3 additional more years sa January 1, 2022, magkakaroon na rin tayo ng revised amortization schedule, which is yung 846,200 na present value ang gagamitin natin para makuha natin yung interest. So, same process sa pagkuha ng interest, principal, and panibagong lease liability each year. So, as we can see in this revised amortization schedule, hindi nagbago yung payment natin at the end of each year since hindi nga naman talaga nagbago according sa given, which is 200,000 per year pa rin. So, for the journal entry, so for the simplicity, we are going to compute just for the depreciation. So as we can see, and as we all know na ang depreciation, sa pagkuha ng depreciation ay nagbabase tayo sa carrying amount or the right of use asset. So since from the old information or from the previous data, meron tayong cost of right of use asset at the beginning of 778,000. Tapos, ililas natin yung accumulated depreciation as of December 31, 2021 na 155,600 times 2 years. So, bakit 2 years? Since 2 taon lang naman yung na-consume bago magkaroon ng extension. So, 155,600 times 2 years is equals to 311,200. So, ililas natin siya sa cost of right of use asset beginning para makuha natin yung bagong carrying amount as of December 31, 2021 bago magkaroon ng extension. So, it is equals to 466,800. Since nagkaroon tayo ng increase in lease liability as a result of the extension, so i-add natin siya sa carrying amount para makuha natin talaga yung pinaka right of use asset or adjusted carrying amount as of January 1, 2022 na 806,658. So, itong adjusted carrying amount as of January 1, 2022 ay gagamitin natin para makuha natin yung annual depreciation as of 2022. So, bale, 806,658 divided by 6 years is equals to 134,443. So, bakit 6 years? Since meron tayong old lease term na 5 years, at since 2 taon ang na-expired, which is 2020 and 2021, so nabawasan na. So, meron na lang tayo natitirang 3 years. At since nagkaroon tayo ng extension for another 3 years, so 3 plus 3 is equals to 6 years. So, ayun na lang yung remaining years na meron tayo sa lease. So, 806,658 over 6 years is equals to the depreciation of 134,443.
Next scenario is lease modification, specifically change in rental. Sa kind ng modification naman na ito, ay bumaba ang annual rental payable at the end of each year ng lessee. Pero tumaas ang rate at hindi naman nabago ang years. The first step ay kunin ang PV ng lease. Lease payments noong January 1, 2020. It is computed by multiplying the annual rental payable at the end of each year multiplied by the PV of ordinary annuity of 1 at 7% kasi yun yung implicit rate. So, 80,000 times 4.7665 which is equal to 381,320. The second step is we have to prepare a table of amortization. Ang paggawa ng table of amortization ay kagaya lamang sa paggawa ng mga naunang problems. As usual, we will prepare journal entry for right-of-use asset, interest expense, and depreciation kagaya lamang ng ating pag-entry sa naunang problems. The problem states that on January 1, 2023, the entity and the lessor agreed to amend the original terms of the lease by reducing the lease payments to 70,000 and increasing the implicit rate to 9%. Sinabi sa problem na bababa ang annual payment pero tataas ang implicit rate. Pero ang years ay kagaya pa rin. Ito ay kabaliktaran ng extension option kung saan ang annual rate ang tumataas at bumababa naman ang implicit rate. So, dahil nagbago ang annual rental payment at implicit rate, kailangan nating i-compute ang decrease in lease liability. In this kind of modification, laging nagkakaroon ng decrease in lease liability kasi bumaba ang annual payment. Para ma-compute ang decrease in lease liability, kailangan nating i-deduct ang modified lease liability as of January 1, 2023, which is computed as multiplying the new lease payment by the ordinary annuity of 1 at 9%, kasi ito ang bagong implicit rate. So, 70,000 times 2.5313, which is equal to 177,191, less the carrying amount of lease liability as of January 1, 2023, which is 209,941 na makikita sa Table of Amortization noong December 31, 2022. Note that the decrease in liability will lead to a reduction in the carrying amount of right-of-use asset. Next step, we need to compute for the adjusted carrying amount as of January 1, 2023. It is computed as cost of right-of-use asset, which is the PV as of January 1, 2020, which is 381,320. Tapos, ilaless natin ng accumulated depreciation as of January 1, 2023, which is computed as 381,320 PV of lease payment as of January 1, 2020 divided by the lease term, which is 6 years, times 3 years, which is 2020 to 2022. Bakit 3 years? Kasi ito yung years bago tayo magkaroon ng amendment, which is equal to 190,659. We must prepare for the revised amortization table. So, as we can see in the table, the present value in January 1, 2023 is 177,191, which is the modified lease liability on January 1, 2023, which is computed already. The same process will be used to the succeeding years. The last step, as usual, ay magpe-prepare ng journal entries. Ang journal entries na ito ay kagaya lamang ng pag-record natin sa mga naunang problem. We need to journalize for right-of-use assets since nagkaroon ng decrease in lease liability. It is journalized as debit lease liability amounting to 32,750 and credit to right-of-use asset 32,750. We also need to prepare a journal entry for depreciation. It is computed as the adjusted carrying amount as of January 1, 2023, which is 157,911 divided by the remaining 3 years, which is equal to 52,637.
Lease modification, specifically increase in scope. So according to IFRS 16, paragraph 44, the lessee shall account for the lease modification as a separate lease under the following conditions. A. The modification increases the scope of the lease by adding the right to use an additional underlying asset. And the other one is the rental for the lease modification increases by an amount commensurate with the increase in scope and equivalent to the current market rental. So, ABC company entered into a lease agreement with the following information. Floor base, 3,000 square meters. Annual rental payable at the end of each year, 100,000. Implicit rate in the lease, 10%. Lease term, 8 years. Present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 8 periods is 5.3349. On January 1, 2022, the entity and the lessor agreed to amend the original terms of the lease with the following information. And nabago rin yung implicit rate in the lease from 10% to 8%. So the first step is to find and compute for the present value of the lease payments as of January 1, 2020. So meron tayong annual rental payable na 100,000 times present value of ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 8 periods na 5.3349 for the total of 533,490. So, for the journal entries, nire-record tayo ng right of use asset and also for the payment, interest, and principal and for the depreciation. So, on January 1, 2022, the entity shall account for the modification as a separate lease. So, the entity shall recognize the right of use asset and lease liability for the additional 45 square meter lease space on January 1, 2022. So, no adjustment is made to the 3,000 square meter lease because of the modification. So, dito, unlike the other situation, dito, ina-account natin yung changes or increase in scope as a separate lease. Dito, hindi na natin kailangan i-consider yung past present value ng lease liability. Kundi, since separate lease na siya, magkakaroon na rin tayo ng separate present value of the additional lease payment on January 1, 2022. So, 200,000 yung bagong annual rental payable at the end of each year. So, 200,000 times 4.6229 is equals to 924,580. So, the journal entries for 2022 is a new separate lease. So, as usual, gagawa natin ng entry yung right of use asset and lease liability. And the interest expense is based on the new present value as of January 1, 2022, which is 924,580 times the new implicit rate of 8%. So, dito magkakaroon na tayo ng panibagong interest expense, lease liability, and cash. And the last one is the depreciation. So, makukuha natin to sa pagkuha ng right of use asset divided by 6 years. So, bakit 6 years? Since, diba, meron tayong lease term of 8 years. So, meron na tayong nagamit na 2 years before magkaroon ng amendment for the original terms of the lease. So, 8 minus 2 is equals to 6 years remaining years. Next scenario is lease modification, decrease in scope of the lease. So, unlike kanina, nagkaroon tayo ng increase in scope, which is having the right to use an additional assets. So, dito, sa decrease in scope, includes removing the right to use one asset or more. So, for the example, on January 1, 2020, an entity entered into a lease of office space with the following information. Floor space, 800 square meters. Annual rental payable at the end of each year of 40,000. Lease term, 10 years. Implicit rate in the lease is 8%. Present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 for 8% for 10 periods, 6.7101. On January 1, 2022, the lessee and the lessor agreed to amend the original terms of the lease with the following information. So, as we can see, the 800 square meters na floor space noong January 1, 2020, naging 480 square meters na lang siya noong January 1, 2022. So, nabawasan. And also, yung annual rental payable na 40,000 noong January 1, 2020, naging 30,000 na lang siya noong January 1, 2022. And also, yung implicit rate in the lease na 8%, so naging 10% naman siya noong January 1, 2022. So we need to record for these changes. But before that, we are going to compute first for the present value of lease payments on January 1, 2020. So the present value of lease payments no January 1, 2020 is computed by multiplying the annual rental payable at the end of each year noong January 1, 2020, which is 40,000, sa present value of ordinary annuity of 1 for 8% for 10 periods of 6.7101, which give us an answer of 268,404. So next step is we are going to prepare a table of amortization for 2020 and 2021. So same process of doing and computing for the interest, principal, and updated present value of lease liability each year. Pero as we can see, yung date natin is hanggang December 31 to 2021 lang. So bakit? Since nagkaroon na nga ng changes noong January 1, 2022. So yung table of amortization dito is before magkaroon ng amendment or changes of the lease. So next step is we are going to prepare journal entries for 2020 and 2021. But in this video, we are going to record only for 2020 for simplicity. So since parehas lang naman yung process and procedures for recording journal entries, just like the previous scenarios. So as usual, we are going to record for the right of use asset, lease liability, interest expense, and cash payments, and also for the depreciation. Since dito, wala namang transfer of ownership or purchase option na binanggit, we are going to look for the short term between lease term and the useful life of the asset kung meron man. So since dito, lease term lang naman yung given, ayun yung gagamitin natin for the depreciation. So yung lease liability or the present value na 268,404 divided by 10 years is equals to 26,840. So ito na yung annual depreciation natin. So the next step is we are going to compute and record for the amendment of the lease. Since dito nagkaroon nga ng reducement of the floor space na ginamit sa lease, so i-record natin yung mga changes. So sabi or according to IFRS 16 states that a gain or loss should be recognized as a result of the partial termination of the lease. If the decrease in carrying amount of lease liability is higher than the decrease in carrying amount of the right of use asset, the difference is a termination gain. On the other hand, if the decrease in carrying amount of right of use asset is higher than the decrease in carrying amount of lease liability, the difference is a termination loss. So for us not to be confused how to record these changes or amendment in this lease, so we are going to follow some few procedures how to record these changes. So first step is we are going to get the carrying amount as of December 31, 2021, which is bago magkaroon ng changes or amendment. So, paano ba kunin to? Cost of right of use asset less accumulated depreciation nung December 31, 2021. So, yung cost of right of use asset dito is yung kaninang kinumpute natin na present value as of January 1, 2020, which is 268,404. So, yung nakuha nating depreciation nung journal entries noong 2020, which is 26,840, times natin sa 2, since 2 years yung na-use or nagamit na years bago magkaroon ng extension or rather amendment of the lease. So, ayun na nga. So, 26,840 times 2 years. So, we will get 53,680. So 268,404 minus 53,680 is equals to 214,724. So since nakuha na natin yung carrying amount of the asset noong December 31, 2021, so magpaproceed na tayo sa second step, which is kukunin na natin yung termination gain or loss. So, paano ba natin kunin to? So, it is the difference between the decrease in carrying amount of lease liability and decrease in carrying amount of the right of use asset. So, dito, kukunin naman natin yung percent ng kung ano yung ni-reduce. So, from 800, diba, naging 480 square meters na lang siya. So, kukunin natin yung percent na kung ilan yung nabawas. So, since dito, diba, from 800, naging 480. So, we are going to compute for the reducement. So, 480 square meters divided by 800 is equals to 60%. So, minus 100% is equals to 40%. So, 40% yung na-reduce sa scope of the lease. So, ayun na. Kung nakuha na natin yun, i-identify na natin yung lease liability dito at saka yung carrying amount. So, since dito, sa decrease in carrying amount of lease liability, so, from the table of amortization, diba, naka-record yung mga lease liability or yung present value ng lease liability natin. So, pero, kukunin natin yung lease liability bago magkaroon ng changes, which is nung December 31, 2021 yung last. So, dito, meron tayong 229,866 times 40% na nakuha nating reduce sa scope of the lease. So, 229,866 times 40% is equals to 91,946. So, ayan, meron na tayo answer sa unang given na decrease in carrying amount of lease liability. Pangalawa naman, yung decrease in carrying amount of the right of use asset. So, sa unang step, diba, nakuha na natin yung carrying amount as of December 31, 2021, which is 214,724. So, ayun yung ita-times natin sa 40%, which is the reduced from the scope of the lease. So, 214,724 times 40% is equals to 85,890. So, yung difference sa dalawa na 91,946, then yung sinakuha natin na 85,890 is equals to 6,056. So, as we can see, mas mataas yung decrease in carrying amount of lease liability kesa sa decrease in carrying amount of right of the use asset. So, based standard or based sa IFRS 16, pag ganun yung situation, magkakaroon tayo ng termination gain. So, dito, yung 6,056 natin is termination gain. So, third step is to get the remaining or lease liability as of January 1, 2022, the date of the changes or amendment. So, yung formula nito is yung lease liability January 1, 2022. So, diba, as of nung bago magkaroon ng changes, meron tayong lease liability na 229,866. Then, yung reduction of all lease liability. So, diba, sa step 2, nakuha natin na decrease in carrying amount of lease liability na 91,946. So, dideduct natin siya sa lease liability as of January 1, 2022 para makuha natin yung remaining or lease liability. So, meron tayong difference na 137,920. So, kapag nakuha na natin yung remaining or lease liability na to as of January 1, 2022, makukuha na rin natin yung increase in liability as of January 1, 2022. So, yung remaining or lease liability na nakuha natin na 137,920, i-deduct natin siya dun sa present value of lease payments on January 1, 2022 as a result of the decrease in scope. So, diba, nung January 1, 2022, so on the amendment of the lease, nagbago na rin yung annual rental payable at the end of each year, which is 30,000. So, i-multiply natin siya sa bago ding PV of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 8 periods na 5.3349. So, yung nakuha nating remaining or lease liability sa third step is, i-deduct natin siya dito sa PV on January 1, 2022, which is 160,047. So, the difference is 22,127, which is the increase in lease liability. So, next step is we are going to compute
for the revised table of amortization. So, since nagkaroon tayo ng amendment, marirevise din yung table of amortization natin. So, as of January 1, 2022, meron tayong lease liability na 160,047 as a result of the changes of the annual rental payable and also yung PV of ordinary annuity. So, ito yung nakuha natin kanina. So, for the succeeding years, same process din yung pagkuha natin ng interest, principal, and the present value of lease liability each year. So, next step is we are going to compute for the adjusted balance in each account. So, meron tayong 3 columns here, the cost, accumulated depreciation, and the carrying amount. So, dito, may makita natin yung sa gilid, yung right of use asset. So, dito, yung right of use asset dito is ito yung computed from the date bago magkaroon ng changes or amendments. So, diba, yung nakuha natin doon is 268,404. So, yung accumulated depreciation niya for 2 years is 53,680. So, yung the difference nun is 214,724 as a carrying amount. So, diba nga nagkaroon ng bawas sa paggamit ng floor space. So, itong mga values na to is ita-times natin siya sa 40% para makita natin yung reduction. So, 268,404 times 40% is equals to 107,362. Then, yung accumulated depreciation na 53,680 times 40% is equals to 21,472. Then, the carrying amount na 214,724 times 40% is equals to 85,890. So, itong reduction na to is i-deduct natin siya sa pinaka-cost sa kada column. So, dito makikita natin yung balance niya since nagkaroon na nga ng reduction. So, 161,042, then 32,208 sa accumulated depreciation, and yung carrying amount or sinabago din which is 128,834 na lang. And hindi pa dun yung final, ayun lang yung balance, pero kailangan pa din natin i-add yung increase in lease liability na nakuha natin kanina sa step 4. So, yung balance, i-add natin doon yung increase in lease liability na 22,127. So, i-add natin siya. So, makikita natin dito yung adjusted balance na sa cost is 183,169, and dun sa carrying amount which is 150,961. So, next step is we are going to compute for the journal entries for 2022. So, dito, sa January 1, ibabawasan natin yung lease liability and accumulated depreciation, diba, as a result of 40% reduction. So, diba, from the step 2, meron tayong na-compute na decrease in carrying amount of lease liability na 91,946. So, dito, ito yung i-debit natin para mabawasan yung lease liability. Pangalawa is yung accumulated depreciation. So, dito sa meron tayong nabawas na 21,472. Tapos, i-record din natin yung decrease in the right of use asset. So, dito, nagkaroon ng kabawasan. So, i-record natin siya as credit. So, 107,362. And yung termination gain, i-record din natin siya as credit. So, 6,056. So, also, sa January 1, i-record din natin yung increase in lease liability na sa right of use asset, syempre, and the credit is lease liability na 22,127. And for the last date of the year, so sa December 31, i-record natin as usual yung updated interest expense, lease liability, and cash, and also for the depreciation. So, diba, meron tayong adjusted balance ng carrying amount which is the result of the changes or the reduction. So, dito, makikita natin yung 150,961. Ayun yung ginamit para makompute natin yung depreciation divided by 8 years remaining. Since dito, meron na tayong nagamit na 2 years. Di ba nga kasi, 10 years talaga yung lease term, pero baga magkaroon ng changes or amendment, meron na nagamit na 2 years. So, 10 minus 2 is equals to 8 years.
So, ang next topic natin is variable payments. Variable payments are payments made by the lessee for the right to use the underlying asset during the lease term that vary because of changes in facts or circumstances occurring after the commencement date other than passage of time. So, yung variable payments is nakadepende siya sa nature of variability. So, bale, in this case, nag-iiba yung annual rental na binabayaran ng lessee sa lessor. For example, on January 1, 2020, an entity entered into an 8-year lease of a floor of a building with the following terms. Annual rental for the first 3 years, payable at the end of each year, 300,000. Annual rental for the next 5 years, payable at the end of each year, 400,000. Implicit interest rate, 10%. PB of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 3 periods, 3.487. PV of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 5 periods, 3. PV of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 5 periods, 3.791, and PV of 1 at 10% for 3 periods, 0.751. The lease provides for neither a transfer of title to the lessee nor a purchase option. So, dito sa problem na to, mapapansin natin na nag-iba yung annual rental ng lessee. So, nirent niya yung building for 8 years pero ang babayaran niya for the 3 years is 300,000 lang at the next 5 years is 400,000. So nag-increase ng 100,000. So first step, kailangan natin computein ng present value as of January 1, 2020. So para makompute to, gagamitin natin yung annual rental for first 3 years. Bakit yun yung ginamit natin? Kasi sinabi nga sa problem, for the first 3 years, yun yung gagamitin natin. So, nag-start siya ng January 1, 2020. So, matatapos siya ng January 1, 2022. So, annual rental for the first 3 years, which is 300,000, multiplied by PV of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 3 periods, 2.487, is equal to 476,100. So, bakit nga ba natin multiply sa PV ng 3 periods? Kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, is yung January 2020 is magpo-fall pa din siya doon sa annual first 3 years ng problem. So, the next step is kailangan natin kunin yung present value as of January 2023. So, ito yung date bago mabago yung payments na babayaran ni lessee. So, annual rental payment for the 5 periods of 400,000. So, dito, ginamit na natin yung 5 years payable at each year. So, next step is i-compute natin yung PV as of January 1, 2023. So, para ma-compute to, gagamitin natin yung 400,000 na applicable for the next 5 years. So, bakit sa 400,000? So, kagaya din siya ng explanation doon sa extension option. Multiplied by the present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10% for 5 periods, which is 3.791. So, it is equal to the present value of January 1, 2023, which is equal to 1,516,400. So ngayon, nakuha na natin ang present value as of January 1, 2023 na 1,516,400. So kailangan natin siyang i-multiply sa PV of 1 at 10% for 3 periods na 0.751. Kasi nga, na-compute natin yung present value as of 2023. Ang kailangan nating i-record is January 1, 2022. So, it is equal to 1,138,816. Next step, kailangan nating i-compute for the lease liability as of January 1, 2023. So, yung present value of annual rentals for 3 years na nakuha natin kanina, which is equal to 748,100, at yung present value of annual rentals for the next 5 years amounting to 1,138,816 ay kailangan nating i-add. So, it is equal to 1,884,916. So, now, kailangan na nating mag-prepare ng table of amortization. So, kagaya lang din to ng pag-prepare natin ng table of amortization sa mga naunang problem. So, as of January 1, 2020, so mapapansin natin na ang present value nung January 1, 2020 is yung na-compute natin kanina na lease liability na 1,884,916. So, same process lang siya kagaya ng paggawa natin ng table of amortization sa mga naunang problem. So, dito sa case na to, ang pinagkaiba lang is yung 2023. As of 2023, nag-iba yung annual payment niya. So, naging 400. So, makikita natin sa table na ginamit yung 300,000 hanggang 2022 lamang at pinalitan ito hanggang 2023 hanggang 2027.